Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. Now, a shocking reality is unfolding before our eyes and the eyes of those who voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's policies, once thought to only harm marginalized communities, are now hurting his own voters. Now, in a stunning admission, a Pamela woman openly acknowledges that Black Americans have long understood the realities of worker exploitation and the myth of the American dream. They know how to vote in their own interests, unlike many Pamela people who voted for Trump. Now, the numbers are staggering. 53% of Pamela women and 60% of Pamela men voted for Trump, believing only Harris voters would be harmed by his policies. But now, as the speaker so aptly puts it, we're in the FAFO time period and everyone, regardless of who they voted for, will feel the pain. Now, the irony is striking. Trump supporters thought he was an outsider who'd put the working class first and root out corruption. But now they're witnessing firsthand how he's backtracking on immigration policy and siding with billionaires like Elon and Vivek on H1B visas, taking away high-paying jobs from Americans and widening the wealth gap. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos as different people share their thoughts on this. I will be right back.
Yup. It is finally going to hit white people. And I want to be super clear that when I make videos like the one I did about Vivek Ramaswamy's tweet, I know I do not need to speak to Black America. Y'all got that figured out. Black Americans know damn well about worker exploitation and the myth of the American dream. They also know how to vote in favor of their own interests, something white people are incapable of doing. And because social media likes to segregate us like we're in a prison yard, I'm trying to use that algorithm to my advantage and speak to white people. 53% of white women and 60% of white men voted for Donald Trump. And for some reason, they were so delusional that they believed only Harris voters were going to be harmed by Trump's policies. And yet, here we are in the FAFO time period where all of us are going to be hurt by Trump's policies, whether you voted for him or not. And that is why I will continue to spend my time on this app talking to my viewers, most of whom are white, about policies and data and how the white American habit of voting for the candidate that has the R next to their name is hurting everyone. It's not just hurting those people anymore, it's hurting Republican voters too.
I really thought that the CEO should be the pinnacle event for class consciousness in 2024, but if I'm being honest, Donald Trump alienating his voters before he even makes it into office might be a close second. Because here's the thing, the majority of Trump supporters genuinely believed that Donald Trump was an outsider to politics, that he couldn't possibly be bought out, and that he was finally going to put the working class first and get corruption out of the government. But now his voters are seeing firsthand that not only is he backtracking on immigration policy, which is largely what got him elected, but going along with Elon and Vivek on H1B visas is going to take higher paying jobs away from Americans, which means that the wealth gap gets even greater. And it truly solidifies to his own voters what side Trump is actually on. And once he takes office and imposes tariffs and people start to feel the inflationary effects of those tariffs, he will be completely dethroned by the people who thought he was the savior.
We have big news right now. Low-income Trump voters are now worried that he is going to cut their benefits. Washington Post just ran with a new story highlighting interviews with multiple low-income voters from Pennsylvania. And the common theme in all these interviews was that these low-income voters did not want Donald Trump to cut their necessary benefits like Social Security, SNAP, food benefits, and more. And local Republican officials in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, are hoping the president-elect does not cut benefits to the point where it is catastrophic for local residents. I'm not sure where many of these low-income Trump voters were during the election when he promised to cut benefits on the campaign trail, but now they're in the finding out phase, and it's very unfortunate to watch. Now, you can go read the entire story on the Washington Post website. I think it's an interesting story, and it's one that most Americans should read. But if you were a voter, whether you were low income, middle income, or high income, don't expect Donald Trump to protect your benefits when he's explicitly said he wouldn't. As always, comment below your thoughts, spread the word, and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Well, that didn't take long. MAGAs are in a civil war with each other right now. Apparently, according to Heather Cox Richardson, a very smart historian from the United States who writes a newsletter, which you should definitely check out, there's like two sides of the MAGA camp now. One is the low information white voter who is definitely immigration negative. And then there's the tech bros, which helped Trump get elected because they spent a lot of money on his campaign, like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and people like that. And they are all into creating more places for immigrant tech workers to come to the United States on temporary visas, which, of course, upsets the MAGA crowd, the America First MAGA crowd, because they are just saying things like, well, why do we need tech people from overseas? I thought there was all kinds of tech people being laid off recently. Why aren't we hiring them? And then the tech bros are saying, yeah, well, the American engineers aren't as good as the foreign engineers. And, and then the MAGA people are going, well, we like our engineers white. We don't want brown engineers here in the United States. What about America First? So this thing is getting a little bit ugly. In fact, Vivek Ramaswamy said, and he posted that tech companies hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers rather than native-born Americans because American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. He called for more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chillin', more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. Well, may I ask, what is more American than hanging out at the mall? Go MAGAs. Go. Get each other. You can do this.
This is to all the MAGAs out there. Do not jump on a live and try to debate someone about the government or about how policies work if you have no idea what the 3 branches of government are. It is so embarrassing. I'm not feeling that great today, but I had to hop on real quick to help educate you guys so that you guys don't sound so dumb when you try to hop on a live and debate someone. There are 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. The legislative branch, also known as Congress, they're responsible for making the laws. This branch is composed of 2 chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate, and they're responsible for representing the people of the United States. Next is the executive branch. The executive branch is responsible for enforcing the laws passed by Congress. The executive branch is composed of the president, vice president, and various departments and agencies that make up the federal government. Last but not least, the judicial branch. They're responsible for interpreting the laws and applying it fairly and consistently. This branch is composed of the Supreme Court as well as the lower federal courts. And now you know the 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. Please send this off to all of your MAGA friends.
Shift your perspective, class consciousness edition. Instead of, if they raise the wages of the workers, then the prices of everything will go up, try, well, if the CEOs and other C-suite executives didn't take home multi-million-dollar bonuses on top of their multi-million-dollar salaries and their multi-million-dollar stock options, then the prices of everything wouldn't have to be so high. Instead of, well, if they raise the barista's salary, then they'll be making more than me. Try, if they raise the barista's salary, that means they'll also have to raise my salary as well, because they'll have to keep my position competitive instead of me just quitting and becoming a barista. Instead of, well, people should just get a better job if they want to be paid more, try, well, somebody has to work that job. It's an important job to keep society going, and they deserve a livable wage for doing so. Instead of, we can't raise the minimum wage. That'll make businesses fail. Try, well, if businesses can't afford to pay their employees a livable wage, then they don't deserve to be running.
Elon Musk, who bankrolled Trump to the presidency in the tune of $250 million or more, has been arguing on X that the United States needs more H1B workers. Musk said he'd go to war on this issue. Trump came to Elon's defense. He said he's a great believer in the H1B program. In fact, he uses it many times. Remember what I said 2 months ago?
So I can see a situation
where Trump gets very tough with undocumented immigrants. There's a whole dog and pony show at the border and with some undocumented immigrants showing that he's deporting everybody, he's tough on immigration, and then realize he can't get rid of all these undocumented immigrants because the United States needs their labor. So this was for skilled workers, not undocumented immigrants. But is Trump now coming around and getting a little softer on immigration? He's a businessman at heart. He can't get reelected again, so he doesn't need his base anymore. Let's see what happens.
Now, when we look at the white-collar job market in the United States, it has experienced a slowdown in hiring, particularly in sectors like technology, finance, and professional services. Now, this has led to a highly competitive environment where even well-qualified professionals struggle to secure new positions. Economic uncertainty has prompted many companies to cut back on white-collar positions, leading to layoffs or delayed start dates for new hires. Now, this insecurity is particularly pronounced in industries sensitive to market fluctuations, like tech and finance. The rapid pace of artificial intelligence and fast-moving technological changes means that skills can quickly become outdated. It can be overwhelming for professionals to keep up with new realities. Now, with this backdrop, it's very easy to understand why many Americans, particularly middle-class white-collar professionals, are worried about both holding onto their jobs and trying to find new opportunities. The H1B Visa program, intended to allow U.S. companies to employ foreign workers in specialized occupations, has become a flashpoint in the ongoing debate over American jobs and immigration. As the tech industry continues to face layoffs and economic uncertainty, tensions are rising between American workers and H1B visa holders, with the latter group often viewed as direct competition for coveted positions. Now, this controversy intensified last week on X, formerly Twitter, creating a rift between anti-immigration loyalists of President-elect Donald Trump and the tech-oriented conservative faction. While proponents argue that H1B workers fill critical skills gaps and drive innovation, critics contend that the program suppresses wages and displaces American workers. Now, the H-1B visa program, a cornerstone of the U.S. immigration system for skilled workers, allows American employers to tap into a global talent pool for specialized occupations. As the largest guest worker visa category in the U.S., it plays a crucial role in shaping the country's workforce, particularly in fields requiring advanced education and expertise. However, the program operates under strict annual caps and specific eligibility criteria, balancing the needs of U.S. employers with concerns about domestic job protection. Now, to qualify for an H-1B visa, applicants must possess a bachelor's degree or equivalent work experience in a specialized field. The visa initially grants a 3-year stay, which can be extended to 6 years, with the possibility of reapplication thereafter. Now, this structure allows for continuity in employment while also providing a pathway for potential long-term residency. Importantly, the visa is employer-sponsored, meaning companies must actively support and petition for their foreign employees. Now, the H-1B program has a significant impact on the demographic makeup of the U.S. workforce, particularly in the technology and engineering sectors. Notably, 72% of H-1B visa recipients hailed from India, while another 12% came from China in fiscal year 2023. That's according to data from the Migration Policy Institute. Now, this concentration has led to ongoing debates about the program's effects on domestic labor markets and its role in fostering innovation and economic growth in the U.S. As the program continues to evolve, policymakers face the challenge of balancing the needs of U.S. businesses with concerns about job opportunities for American workers. Now, infighting between the Republican Party erupted when Laura Loomer, a controversial far-right activist with historical connections to Trump, publicly criticized the president-elect's appointment of Krishnan as an artificial intelligence advisor. Now, Loomer challenged Krishnan's stance on bringing skilled foreign workers into the U.S., arguing that his position contradicts Trump's America First policy. Now, last month, Christian posted on X about the need to remove country caps for green cards to unlock skilled immigration in the US. He added that we need the best, regardless of where they happen to be born. Now, Loma's critique quickly escalated into a broader debate about H1B visas and immigration within Trump's political coalition. The dispute drew responses from his Department of Government Efficiency co-heads Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who defended the need for skilled foreign workers in the tech sector. Now, Musk, a naturalized US citizen born in South Africa, championed the H1B visa program, highlighting its significance in his personal journey and the success of his companies SpaceX and Tesla. Now, he stated that the number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA is far too low, and to think of this like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. That enables the whole team to win. Now, Musk even declared his willingness to go to war over the issue. Ramaswamy sparked further controversy by criticizing American cultural values. Now, he argued that tech companies hire immigrants because American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. Now, he provocatively stated a culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the joke over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. Now, critics argue that the program, rather than addressing genuine skill shortages, is being exploited by companies to reduce labor costs and displace American workers. And this perspective has gained traction among those who view the H1B visa as a tool for wage suppression and outsourcing, rather than a means of attracting global talent to drive innovation and economic growth. Now, one of the primary concerns raised by opponents of the H1B program is its alleged misuse by companies to undercut the American job market. Some contend that these companies use the visa program to hire foreign workers at lower wages, effectively bypassing qualified American candidates who command higher salaries. Now, this practice, they argue, not only displaces US workers, but also creates a race to the bottom in terms of wages and working conditions in high-skill industries. Moreover, the system has been accused of putting foreign workers in vulnerable positions with limited ability to change employers, leading to comparisons with indentured servitude. Now, Trump expressed his support for the H1B visa program in an interview with the New York Post on Saturday, aligning himself with Musk and Ramaswamy. "I've always liked the visas. I've always been in favor of the visas," the president-elect stated. "That's why we have them. I have many H1B visas on my properties. I've been a believer in H1B. I have used it many times. It's a great program." Now, this marks a notable shift from his earlier stance during his first term when he implemented restrictions on foreign worker visas. In the past, Trump has referred to H1B visas as very bad and unfair to American workers. To be honest, the speaker's words in these different videos are a reflection of the reality we're living in. The fact that Trump's policies are hurting his own voters is a testament to the blind loyalty and misinformation that has characterized his presidency. The speaker's assertion that Trump supporters were duped into believing that only marginalized communities would be affected by his policies is sadly true. The data speaks for itself. 53% of palm color women and 60% of palm color men voted for Trump, despite his policies being detrimental to their own interests. Now, this is a classic case of the boomerang effect, where policies intended to harm marginalized groups ultimately end up harming the very people who supported them. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do your viewers have to say? Share your thoughts as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another interesting video.